Welcome to Beyond County Lines.
Today we're talking with Commissioner Hansen and Anna Hamilton.
Beyond County Lines, where communities flow. Santa Fe County updates everybody wants to know.
Well, Commissioners, we're here at the end of your term. You both have served 8 years as our county commissioners here in office, and we're really happy to have you on the show today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We're really happy to be here and just be able to recognize and thank all the constituents and our staff, because we may be the commissioners, but nothing could really happen without county staff and all the work that they do also. And I'm just really appreciative to be able to have served 2 terms, and it goes really fast.
Absolutely. It was a long but very, very short 8 years. And you come to the end and really hope that you've made a difference with all the wonderful senior and junior staff that we've had the privilege to work with, and everybody in the county, the constituents who frankly are pretty active and very interested in trying to move the county forward in really good ways.
If you could articulate what was the highlight of your term in office here at Santa Fe County, what would that be? Let's start with you, Commissioner Hamilton.
Well, that's a difficult one. I'm the type of person who has really enjoyed working with everybody, but from an elected official point of view, seemingly behind the scenes, because things that really, changes that matter happen slowly and they happen cumulatively. And so when you go, well, what was the highlight? It's a little bit hard to think of. We've had a few crescendos, certainly getting all the issues with regard to the Pewaukee water system is one of them. That's something that's really important to the region. But then also, I've worked a long time on emergency management and fire-related issues, and those intersect with some of the climate change things. And so maybe another one is finally having an emergency management office and a restructuring of the fire department in ways that I think will really accommodate all the future development that I've anticipated and other people on the staff have anticipated.
If you don't know, Commissioner Hamilton has also been a longtime volunteer firefighter at the Hondo Fire Station and is a wonderful example of leading by example.
Oh, thank you so much. And at Glorietta, both.
And same question for you.
So I would say settling the Amit trespass issue with the tribes was definitely one of the highlights. I feel like we have really developed positive, good relationships with the 4 tribes that we have in our county over the 8 years that Commissioner Hamilton and I have been in office. The highlight for me, which I felt was really an important step that we took, was making sure that we joined the Paris Accord, the Paris Agreement, because it kind of set the county on its direction for what we needed to do in sustainability. And, we were just setting up the sustainability office at that time, and passing that resolution set the foundation and the framework for all the things that have gone forward with, our climate emergency resolution, our race to zero, making sure that our buildings are efficient and solarized. So to me, those are, as an environmentalist, a longtime environmentalist, those are really important. I also would have to say that the things that I worked on for the environment, but like the protection of Chaco Canyon, the protection of the Caja del Rio monument that we've been trying to work on recently, those are all based in, strong environmental beliefs and making sure that our county is moving in a really healthy, positive direction to face the climate disruption that is upon us.
I also wanted to just share another level of appreciation for both of you and the whole commission, really, especially since this last BCC, the packet material on miscellaneous went all the way to S. And I can't imagine having to read that because you don't see it until a week before at the most, and then there's changes by the Friday, and you have to review all of that so you can discuss it. I just don't have the attention span to read all of that, so I'm jealous that you guys are able to do that and speak so well on it during the meetings too.
I bet you have the attention span. If I remember correctly, one of the first, at least the very early meetings in the first year, like January or February, that Commissioner Hansen and I were part of, went till something like 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was, when you first start out and you're worried about getting all the nuances of all the stuff that's read, and you read it, and then you start talking to different staff, and then, sitting there for whatever, 11 and a half hours was... It got better after that. That was a challenge. It's not too much to ask for somebody that you've elected to try to follow what's going on and direct it, even subtly, sometimes aggressively, to be able to be familiar with what the story is, with what the information is. And one thing that I definitely value is I have found that the staff puts together pretty accurate information. They work hard on it. And then they're available to talk to you about it. And that's part of the behind-the-scenes work that actually makes quite a difference because it accumulates from meeting to meeting and month to month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of change the subject, but some of the things that I feel really proud about is all the work that I've done in the village of Agua Fria and for the traditional historic community. Like I ran on putting in sewers, and I really believe that wastewater and water is one of the really important things that both Commissioner Hamilton and I have worked on, and the fact that we both served on the Buckman Direct Diversion Board to protect our drinking water, and worked really hand in hand on many of those projects, to me is really important. That is a really important board that protects all of us because quality drinking water is really important. And I would say, so getting the sewers, having the roads paved, basic infrastructure is really important as a local elected official. And the fact that we were able to finish the Northeast-Southeast connector, even though that's not in my district, part of it is in Commissioner Hamilton's, but something that I worked on since 2006, and to see it come to completion, and now we have Rabbit Road, Falcon Way, Dinosaur Trail, and all of them intersecting with Richards Avenue. I think that is a really huge accomplishment.
Absolutely. And it makes such a difference. Just even getting to the college from here, I think it cut off like 15 minutes for people that speed.
Well, none of us speed, of course, but...
Yeah, the backbone infrastructure, the investments, I want to rephrase that, the investments that you all as policymakers have made in our communities is significant. I mean, when it comes to water, we're also seeing what's happening up north, but also with Cañoncito and
Yes.
Glorieta and the huge well project, that you've been following even before your time as a county commissioner.
Yes.
And so, I mean, these are momentous projects that are going to help our community be more sustainable, have reliable water. I mean, that's a huge feat historically.
Well, I appreciate you mentioning that because it's important and it's something that several of us worked on for all 8 years. But that work's going to have to continue because there are some aspects of the impacts of climate change on our drinking water sources, the fact that the county has this incredible challenge of having a system for the people that are closer into the city and in the more highly developed areas, and then a separate mutual domestic independently run small systems for the rural areas is going to be an ongoing challenge that the county is going to have to think about policy for and also practical solutions.
Yeah, so I'll just, I agree wholeheartedly. I think one of the other really important ordinances that we passed, there's a couple of them, is the hard rock mining ordinance that really protects Santa Fe County in so many ways and really creates a good example on a federal level. And, I also think the banning of the single-use plastics is really important as also an example for federal level. One of the things I've really appreciated as a county commissioner is being able to work on a federal level and work with our delegation and attend the National Association of Counties, NACO. I was really honored to be the president of the Women of NACO. Those are the kind of things that people don't see the impact that you're able to have because we all think of Washington as far away, but working on the federal level with working on protections for our land and water and methane and using the hard rock mining ordinance as an example for the federal level is really important because we need to update a number of old 1800 laws.
Yeah.
I want to ask one final question from me. Do you, both of you, but starting with you, do you have any advice for the commissioner that is coming on board next year?
It's interesting to think about being an elected official and wanting to be a person that does things differently than is people typically think of when they think of elected officials, where they think of power exchanges. And I've been more focused on technical inputs that facilitate being able to make changes. But it's very hard to work within a system and also a little bit outside of it. I don't think it's as big an issue at the local level. And my big advice for incoming commissioners is to be true to themselves and trust their intuition and to work hard at the things they think are important and to lead with everybody else. That's what kind of happens when you continue to work with the staff who know what they're doing and with your elected colleagues and with, as Commissioner Hansen mentioned, working up with state and federal levels and across with other local levels. But you still have to trust yourself and contribute where you think it's important, and that can be hard to do.
That's great advice.
I would say the most important thing you can do is listen to your constituents and really take that to heart. I mean, I think you always have to be true to yourself and true to your own beliefs and true to your own understanding of how you see the truth or the facts. But I think listening to your constituents and working for them, because that's who hired you, is really important. And I mean, that's what I felt like I did for the Agua Fria community, the traditional historic village. They wanted the roads paved, they wanted a sewer system, they wanted a greenway trail. Those are the things that they wanted. They wanted Romero Park developed and taken care of. And those are all the things that we accomplished. Listening to the constituents is total advice.
Yeah.
Well, you all have served your communities well. Again, service leadership. I commend you, Commissioner Hansen, for all of your activism and your heartfelt work that you've done for our land and water and our communities. And it doesn't go unnoticed. And people, now there's some big shoes to fill, right? And so thank you both so much for all the contributions you've made to our community.
And we officially made it through the podcast without talking about our dogs. High five.
So thank you.
But I love dogs.
Thank you for this opportunity to just have a few moments to say thank you to all of the staff, all the constituents, and everybody that we've had the honor to serve for the last 8 years.
Absolutely. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, I appreciate both of you, and thank you for joining the podcast.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to Beyond County Lines with Daniel and Olivia. And may you all have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next year.
Beyond county lines, where communities flow, Santa Fe